Hello, everyone. Oh, right on time. That's perfect. So I think we're good. Just gonna let the minute pass by and let everyone come in. We have a lot of attendees already. 21 numbers are getting up. Okay, so feel free to leave your camera on. It's always nice to see faces and not talk to blank screens. Hello, Jean-François. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you.
So many people on camera. I like that.
Yes, it's nice.
Nice.
It's more friendly.
Yes.
Okay, so let's get this started. Welcome to our second webinar of the academic year 24-25. And it is my great pleasure to welcome Ihsan Zakri to talk about Table 3.1. Everyone loves Table 3.1, don't you? So today's subject will be to demystify the table and bring you key knowledge and best practices to actually fill out the table, because we know that there are a lot of questions, a lot of issues. So feel free also to use the conversation or Q&R. Usually the conversation works perfectly because it's easier to look in one place. And ask your questions if it requires, if it's related to what Ihsan is saying, then I will interrupt Ihsan and let him know about the question. Okay, let me change my slide. There you go, a quick presentation of HEADway Advisory. A lot of you already know the firm, but we are a consulting firm specialized in higher education institutions, with several departments, I would say, divisions. The main one is strategy, all strategic matters. We also have HEADway People, which is for executive search. If you have headhunting needs, we can help you there. My department is the Quality and Accreditation division, where we help schools with all their accreditations, national, international. And the last one is information and data. We publish newsletters, analysis, white papers, and so on. I will let Ihsan introduce himself, and I will introduce myself afterwards.
Thank you so much, Mélanie, and hello, everyone. Good day. So I'm Ihsan Zakri, and I'm regional head for Middle East and Africa at AACSB. I'm based in the Amsterdam office in the Netherlands. Up until recently, till September 1, I was also staff liaison for schools in the accreditation process or accredited, and now moved to fully fulfilling the role as a regional head. Which means for 9 years, I worked with schools, guiding them through different various issues within their accreditation journey or re-accreditation, including, of course, working on the tables as addressing different standards. So thank you so much for having me. Thank you for being here. And I look forward for this webinar today. And over to you, Mélanie.
Thank you. And I'm Mélanie Cadart, and I haven't updated my job description because I've just been promoted to Director of HEADway Quality and Accreditation Division. So thank you. I will now let you share your slides, and we can start the webinar. Thank you, Janina.
Thank you. So here we go. Hello again. And Mélanie, again, thank you for this opportunity one more time. I believe this is a second AACSB webinar. I believe my colleague, Marine Condet, in the past have last year presented one, which I think it's a great opportunity to connect with colleagues from around the world, the staff liaisons or also the accreditation team at AACSB to address some of the issues and help clarify specific things. So today, as you can see, our theme, the title, very catchy, very interesting, demystifying table 3.1, which is a little bit. I was like, okay, how bad is it? How bad is the table 3.1 that we need to demystify it? I think it is not bad. It just requires a little bit dissecting of the table itself. Before I go there, and before I talk about the objectives of what we're going to do today, just allow me a couple of minutes to remind those who don't know who AACSB is. So AACSB International, one of the largest specialized accreditation bodies globally. We have been established in 1916, and so we have a presence in over 100 countries right now. AACSB been a synonym for a long time for quality assurance, but what we do is broader than that. It is fostering engagement, societal impact for business education globally. Due to the footprint that we have and where we are around the world, we have a global team. So this is just to show our global team, and we needed to update this because we have a new colleague added to the list. And that is Eileen McAuliffe, and she is the Executive Vice President and Chief Thought Leadership Officer, and it's a long title, and a Director of EMEA. She just joined less than 2 weeks ago, and we are very excited to have her joining the EMEA team. Eileen was a member of the AACSB board before moving to this position. I'm showing you this just to show the presence. So this is the membership team. So we have Stephanie Bryant, who also Chief Accreditation Officer, and Jeff Perry, the Chief Membership Officer based in the Singapore office, AACSB Singapore office for Asia Pacific. We have a regional head now for South Asia, Pratap Das, who also joined AACSB recently. And also some news, I don't know if maybe you missed it or not, but we just opened a small office in China. So we also have an office right now in China that is in Beijing. So we have actually now 4 offices globally. And as you can see, I work with Eileen, and we are based in the AACSB EMEA office in Amsterdam. Just quickly, these are the teams that work with institutions either in membership or accreditation. So historically, we had an overlap. For example, my position, I worked within accreditation and membership. So I had schools in my portfolio until the 1st of September, where we changed that. But I'm sure most of you probably work with 2 of my colleagues that you can see on the screen here, and they are Marine Condet and Natalia Elena. They are the staff liaisons for schools in EMEA. So post this session, when you get confused after my session, you will need to talk with your staff liaison probably. You will contact a staff liaison that you're working with probably already if you are in the initial accreditation process. Also, if you are accredited by AACSB and you are preparing for your re-accreditation. What we will try to do today is the interpretation of what we're doing in terms of Standard 3 in relation to Table 3.1. So Standard 3 captures different areas. It's not only when we talk about the faculty qualification and allocation, it touches also regarding other aspects, which is like the teaching load and the distribution of the faculty, and that is Table 3.2. We're not going to go there. We're not going to talk about 3.2. We'll only talk about Table 3.1. So we're taking a component of Standard 3, and that is the objective for us today, is to understand Table 3.1. So I hope that will be helpful within this hour. I'll try to talk for half an hour probably. Or 40 minutes. I can talk for 3 hours or more.
We won't let you.
Exactly.
We will have jobs.
Mélanie is assigned to tell me to shut up at some point, but also any questions and interactions, of course, they are more than welcomed. This is just an extract of the standard. This is a language of Standard 3. So how do you maintain and strategically deploy your sufficient participating and supporting faculty? So again, this is one of the components, determining participating and supporting faculty. And how do these types of faculty support your mission and the school's mission in terms of the teaching? How do you are allocating them? and the deployment for your faculty members, also for the commitment to other activities beyond teaching. So there is the research and other activities that assigned for different faculty members to maintain the quality that you have committed to within your mission and vision. So every table of 3.1 will look different depending on the institution. That is the bottom line. It is what you are as an institution. How can you show that to your peers, to the peer review team? They can read the document and can understand immediately, are you deploying your faculty correctly? And where they need to zero in and look which CVs to dig into to understand how you are working with your faculty members. The standard will look at other areas than just the listing, but we're going to, as I said, we'll look at the table itself. We're only looking at the table. So this is a view of the table itself. If you have worked with it, if you have looked at it before, this is how it looks like, and I'm taking it into two parts. So I'm talking about the first part of it, the portfolio of your faculty by discipline. And we will repeat this over and over again when we talk about the deployment by discipline, because this is one of the changes of the 2020 standards. So if you have worked in the past with the 2013, the deployment could have been at your institution by discipline, which was correct, but also you could have listed your faculty based on your department or the program structure, which was also fine. But the change in the 2020 standards was in relation to the deployment of faculty, which is it's a huge change in the standards that when you follow the discipline, and actually it is more justice to the faculty, to the schools to do that than deploying as an organizational structure. The reason is where you want your intellectual capital to be represented. Because you could have a department in a specific area, but you don't award them a degree or a concentration, but you have a department, and then you had to meet the 40%, the 60%, and the 90% ratios. But when you talk about discipline, there is a distinction in the discipline where do you award a degree on concentration or you don't. And that is where meeting the 40% and the 90% ratios come into effect. So I've highlighted in this part, we're taking discipline in this case, as you see in the red square. It is by faculty. So you have the discipline, but you list all the individuals. It's not a cumulative. It's not table 8.1. This one, you list the people. You list all the individuals that are included in the table under every discipline. And there is a total for the discipline. And you can see in the green, the totals we're looking at first, the discipline ratios. So we're talking about the faculty sufficiency, so participating and supporting. By discipline and total overall, all the disciplines that you will be reporting on. So there are two totals. There is one for the discipline itself, and there is a total for the entire table. But the green table on the right-hand side for the red, it looks at how do you look at your participating and supporting, and I'm not diving into that because that will also take 3 hours. We're not talking participating and supporting. You know that. You have identified who's you're participating and who's you're supporting. But here in the table, you're highlighting the metric. What is the metric you're using to count the teaching load? Is it student contact hour? If majority in Europe, this is how when I worked in the university, it was ECTS. We used ECTS. So it's an easy metric to calculate a teaching load. This is what we're looking at in that part. So we're listing the faculty, we're looking at their specialty field, and then we're looking at the teaching load. I'll continue on the next slides. We will tackle that a little bit more. But one of the questions we always confronted with is who is included? Who do we put in table 3.1? Believe me, we get this often. Every time I was like, who is in? Anyway, simple answer, all faculty contributing to the mission of the school, including participating and supporting. So the main thing to identify, participating and supporting are included in the table. So it's not only participating, those who they are supporting, you have identified are supporting faculty also included, meaning you have different contracts for them, or they only teach, they don't have other activities, so they are counted as supporting faculty, they are included in the table. Faculty members, so point 2, faculty members who joined the business school during the normal academic year. So because you're reporting over a year, so who joined during the year, because it's not static, it's not things change, people join halfway academic year and so on, they must be included in the table. So if somebody joined, although you have a start and finish, let's say you have from September till June, this is what you are counting. There's a start and end for your academic year for the reporting. Somebody joined halfway in January or so on, you include them in the table. Point 3, the tutors and teaching assistants, if responsible for grading assessments or other activities central to course delivery, you include those. So not every teaching assistant, it is teaching assistant plus, if you will, that they have some other responsibilities, could be included in the table. Faculty on short-term leave, of course, you'll put them. They will show that they are not teaching that here and so on, but you will footnote or we see a difference in, for example, they taught less that year because they were on a leave. You list all of those. You don't exclude people just because part of that year they were not in school. And for faculty who not engaged in any teaching, and this is the most common one we receive, yes, you include them and you leave the teaching blank. So there is no teaching load for them. So to clarify, if we look at that part, the green, what I highlighted, so not the red, but the green, there, if you have somebody who's not teaching, you leave that blank. So that's what we're talking about in those who joined during the year. There's a teaching less or were on a leave partially of it. So that is also will look less there. And those who don't teach at all, so maybe they are only responsible for research or doing research that year, you leave that blank. That is fine. So teaching is represented in table 3.1 and in that area. That's where you highlighted in table 3.1. So these are some of the reminders, just some of the basics that will be very helpful. When you are working on table 3.1, remembering these things. You are organizing by discipline, in case I didn't say that already. It says by discipline. The reporting is 1 year. You're reporting 1 year of your faculty. So the last year, let's say last academic year, we're writing the report. Who was on our faculty that year? We're going to include them in table 3.1. So if we want to talk about the teaching productivity metric, we need to be very careful about that and highlighting it. Are we doing student contact hour? Are we doing ECTS or something else? Highlight that. Just be clear on top of the table. What did you use? Which metric? Because the reader cannot decipher that if you don't highlight it. Just be clear about it. What metric are you using there? And be clear on who is not included in the tables and why. So if you have some individual or individuals that they are not listed, clarify why these people are not included in the table. One of the things that we have over the year became clear and clear about the guidance for the PhD candidates. So if you have a PhD student within your faculty, they are usually supporting, not participating. And the reason is the main project that they're working on is their PhD. Maybe there's some responsibility for them that it is teaching. There is a relief, I don't know, 20%, 25%. They are providing that. They're only teaching. There is no other contributions that they're doing. It is their project when they're working on their PhD. These are.
Ihsan, can I interrupt on that part? Because I know that for a lot of schools, they have PhD students and they try to, be reasonable with the workload as per the teaching hours that they have, but still they need to be included and taking part in other activities. So in a lot of schools that I know, they should be counted as participating and not supporting.
Okay. So they have if they have other responsibilities, other activities.
Yes, because some of them might,
Yeah. No, so the general, writing it in this way, because generally you see them as only teaching. There is a teaching responsibility relief, but if they are a larger engagement, that could be reflected in the other part of the table. So they are not 100% because they are doing their PhD.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So they are 50% or 30%, but they could be participating if they are doing other initiatives or activities as well. Yeah.
Lungile?
Lungile, hi.
Hi, Ihsan. Hi,
Hello,
Mélanie.
hi. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Thanks. When we are talking about PhD students, where do you classify your postdocs? Because usually you appoint them maybe for a year to 2 years, but they don't do any teaching. They're not involved in teaching. It's mainly for research purpose. Do they also form part of this table or what?
Yes, they are also listed then in the table. This is their candidates. They're still pursuing their PhD. So if you have a postdoc and they have other responsibilities, as we said, there is no teaching, but they have other responsibilities. You also list them. Teaching is blank. And then we have other responsibilities, as you'll see in the other part of table 3.1 that can highlight their responsibilities. So we'll get into there. Also, how long they are categorized. There is the policy, and there's a change with it with the new accreditation cycle. So that is who is in and who is not in the table. This is again, I'm not diving for faculty qualifications. Who is SA, PA, SP, IP? You should do that. You should work on that. And so you have worked on that, and you have the faculty qualifications. So you have your scholarly academic, practice academic, SP, IP, and so on, your additionals. So that is clear. Now we're populating the table. They got there. So you've done that exercise. This is where you highlight where you are putting your SA, PA, SP, IP, or additional. So not the first two. We looked why. We're listing the names. We listed the specialty field, the highest degree. We've done all of that on the left-hand side. We talked about the teaching, whether there is a teaching load, the metric, whether it's blank. And then we go at the faculty qualification with respect to the percent of time dedicated to the mission, devoted to the mission. And we will talk about what does that mean. You see the two boxes in the middle in the gray area. That is what will determine, are you meeting the ratio or not? Why? If we are offering a degree or a concentration in that discipline, if I'm offering a degree in management, and I'll look at an example soon, then you tick the box. Yes, we are offering a degree in that. Do I have a master's degree in management, or I have a bachelor degree in accounting? I have to meet the 40% ratio. If I don't, I have a discipline, I have management, or I have economics as part of the overall teaching, because this is included in the programs we are offering, but it is not a degree in it. We don't offer a degree in that discipline. Then you tick the other box, the lower box. We don't offer a degree in that. Then you don't have to meet the 40% SA ratio, only the 90%. So that makes the difference for the total when we do the calculation, an institution meeting or not meeting that ratio. So that's where we need you to keep in mind, because then we'll do the math for the SAPA, SPIP, and that we will determine whether meeting the ratio on that discipline or not. That is the second part. The last section, far at the end of the right, this is an area, also a weakness we usually receive, that institutions a little bit overlook completing that. So I'll give you an example. Our definition, let's say at the school, is for an SA is to have minimum 2 publications and so, a couple of things. I can put them in 2 sentences. Just say that. 2 publications, to know met the criteria. Not say met the definition. We don't know what the definition is. We're looking at a table. So just say, Mélanie published 3 articles and she edited a book and so on. She did all of that. I know. I'm impressed. I know. That's why she's SA. So just highlighting a couple of sentences about that individual, what did they do? That will lead the PRT or the Initial Accreditation Committee or the Continuous Improvement to go and look. If I am seeing something is not matching, then I know where to go and look. So it's a summary of the contribution of that faculty member. If you tackle all of that, the table is complete. It's as simple as that. I will recap very quickly. We looked that we are identifying the discipline. We listed the faculty members in the discipline. Specialty field in the interpretive guidance, you can look at the specialty field. There is a link in the interpretive guidance. If you cannot find it, please let us know, let the staff liaison, or let me know. We will show you where is that, and Mélanie also can help you in identifying that. That is generated from the reporting, the annual reporting of the schools, from the BSQ. So what are the disciplines under accounting, areas, a specialty field under accounting, for example, or management, and so on. Every area, every teaching area is there because it's reported by the institutions. So you identify the specialty field of the teaching under the discipline. The highest degree, do they have a PhD? Do they have a DBA or master's? You put that. This is in the left-hand side. This is in the red. The green is the teaching, participating and supporting. You have identified that. But here is the teaching. This is the teaching metric. This is the teaching load for 1 year, 1 academic year, not more. So if I get 1,700 credits, we'll be like, what's going on? We know it's a full-time job, but it reflects the teaching, and you need to show how did you calculate that. You want to look at examples? Interpretive guidance has several examples of how to calculate the metrics for that. Then we moved on this part, and this is where you highlight your participating, your SAPA, SPIP, you put them there, and at the end you highlight why Mélanie is SA, and do you award a degree or concentration in that discipline or not. This is from my experience. I think 70% of the reports I receive, nobody ticks the box. They just forget to do that. So just paying attention that the calculation will be dependent on that. And we'll go a little bit of a couple of pointers regarding the table itself. This part, again, within the table. So as you can see at the far left of this in the red box, normal professional responsibilities. You see that, and this is how it is populated. These are provided to you. They suffer the acronyms to show that individual you have listed. What do they do? Are they teaching undergrad, masters? Are they have administration responsibilities? As you can see, are they doing research, executive education, or other services like outreach responsibilities? We highlight that one faculty member could have more than one of these. They could be teaching, they could be doing also research, they could be also doing administration. Whatever represents them, you put the acronyms related to it. So it will be a UT, an ADM, and SER probably. Just put all these acronyms to the individual, and every individual should have this highlighted for them. This is another thing that comes up of how do we calculate the people of the time devoted to the mission. As you saw in the example of the table, or we will look at an example that there is 100% or 50% and so on. This is just some of the guidance, general rules to look at to help you calculating it. So if I am full-time with the university, if I work full-time, it's very reasonable approximation that it is 100%. I work full-time to the university. I don't do anything else. I don't have any other engagements. I work full-time. I am 100%. And if somebody is less than 100%, there are reasons for it. So it could be part-time, then I am 50%, or I have other assignments that I have I'm working somewhere else, then there is a percentage of, just reflect the percentage that I have allocated to the Faculty of Business.
Ihsan, there is a question in the conversation by Jean-François. He says, I heard from our mentor that external faculty members should be split into different categories on the same line. For example, 10% essay, 20 PA, which doesn't make any sense to me, does it?
No.
Doesn't.
You can't.
We agree on
No,
that.
no. It's one. You can be one only. You could be in more than one discipline.
That's what I was going to say.
Yes, but you cannot be an SA and a PA. Yes, it's one frame that, and you have to follow, and you have to make that decision. But great question. I think there is.
We have another question.
Yes.
Go ahead. Oh, your mic is off.
Kashif, I think you need to unmute.
It's not working. It's not working.
No. Maybe type it if possible. We can't hear you. No.
Something is happening.
Okay. I'll continue in the meantime.
Yes, you can write your question and we'll answer it.
As you can see, the point for the doctoral students who have formal teaching duties, and we tackled that a little bit, the percent of time devoted to mission should reflect their teaching duties only. So if they are only teaching, this is what it reflects. Meaning it's not 100% because I am a PhD student at that university. The part that I'm doing my PhD is not counting as time devoted to the mission. It is only the part that I'm doing for the university is devoted to the mission. Some policies needs to be developed for different faculty, for different deans, or for PhD candidates. So all of that you have to work on to having a policy around it, and it is not just ad hoc.
You have a question by Helmi.
Hi, Helmi.
Hello, Mélanie. How are you?
Hi.
Very good.
Good. Thank you. Just I have a quick question, Ihsan. I'm looking at the faculty members, I have some part-timers who have been devoted to the university for the last 20 years, and they are 100% just working for the university, but they are part-timers. So how could we somehow place these guys, into the table?
They are 50%. So if they are part-timers, so they are not working full-time for the university, but part-time, this is a 50% equivalent. So think if you have a colleague who's working full-time for the university, and there is somebody else that they are working part-time for the university, then they are 50% time devoted to the mission because they are not full-timers.
The point is, Ihsan, is that the only difference between full-time faculty members we have is the contract, nothing else. So they have like full teaching role, they are totally engaged with the university, they do nothing else than teaching, except that they are called part-timers, not full-timers.
Yeah, so it will reflect the what a normal is. The the normal work week, for example, here is 32 hours, and if I am 32 hours, but I have a colleague who is half of that, then they are not full-time. Then because one is working the full working hours and then the other one is working less. So it has to be reflected in this way.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you. So this is some of the guidance in the calculation, but I advise please look at the interpretive guidance for that. There are more information related to this. This is evolving. There's always additional, unusual, new contracts available. And how to do the math for some of those, because you need to develop the formula for that. So this is how the table looks like populated. So if we have a complete table, this is an example available for you. It's in the interpretive guidance. So this is a public example. The school have completed this table. As you can see, there is a start and a finish for the year. So on top, always complete the year. This is from September 2020 to May 2021. We know when it started, where it's ended. We are looking at the disciplines. Their discipline, the first one that we're looking at here is accounting. As you can see, yes, they award a degree in that discipline. Tick, we know that I'm keeping my eye on their 40%. They have listed the colleagues in there, and as you can see, one is their accounting, one taxation. So there's a specialty field highlighted. The degrees that they have obtained and when, which year, and so on. There is a teaching, and as we can see, Natalie is a supporting faculty. So the other two that we're looking at here are participating. The teaching is highlighted. As you can see, student contact hours is highlighted on top in yellow. So we know which metric that they use to do the math for it. We look at the normal professional responsibilities highlighted, teaching undergrad or master's degree teaching, doctoral, and so on. And here where you see how they highlighted why this individual is in this category, that it is the SAPA, which is 100% in this case for all three categories that they highlighted. So they have a PhD, 3 PRJs, a tutorial board member, which captured in the definition. So if I look back at the definition, then it's correct. It's SA because it matches the definition that they have. The table continued because we have a total. And they have provided their total for the SA and for the 40% and the 90%. And they have to meet the 40% because they award a degree in that discipline. Same goes for finance, how it's been populated, exactly the same listing, and they're having the total. So we're having the participating and supporting total, and then we're having the SA and the 40 and 90%, both highlighted, again, met and met. Then we go at the business law. Clearly, as you can see, it is where they don't award a degree. They have the discipline, they teach that as part of their degrees, but they don't award a degree in it. And these are the totals related to it. So SA, it doesn't matter. If they have the 40, they don't have the 40, or less than the 40, it doesn't matter because they don't award the degree. And then they have the percentage also for the 90% needs to be met.
We have a written, oh, sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, no, the table wasn't finished. Go ahead.
Yeah. And we continue. So there is another discipline that is marketing, where also they don't award a degree in it. And we continue. So just to see all parts populated, then we go total and have total marketing, the ratio. So for the marketing discipline, highlighted everything in it. Again, participating and supporting. So the point is every discipline had its total. Participating and supporting. So that's the teaching. The 60% and 75% for the global, but per discipline is 60%. And then we have the SA and the 40% and 90%. And interesting, I just want to draw your attention. If you look at the marketing, they don't award a degree. SA, they have 33.3%. That's fine because they don't award a degree in it. So if they award a degree in marketing, then they don't meet the ratio. In this case, they do because they don't award the degree or concentration. Then we move to the grand total. That is the end for all. We will look at the teaching, the participating and supporting at 75%. Participating must teach in the discipline, in all disciplines, and that is calculated. And as we can see, it's met because they have 84.4. And then we look at the 40 and the 90 total. And both are met because they are 53.1, and then we have 100% for the total ratio. You will see at the end of the table, there is the guidance. The indicators are available for you for the overall. So every discipline has it, and at the total, we have it. Mélanie.
Okay, so we have the written question by Kashif, who said, we have two categories of part-timers. One, those external to university, and two, those internal from different colleges. How can we effectively integrate them into the table?
They are both 50%, right? They are part-time, so it's 50%.
Part-time.
Yeah. You just put
even if they're, yes, whether they're internal,
matter.
it's just
Yeah.
Basically, the number of hours
College
they
of
teach.
Business is 50, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, and we have another question from Jean-François, who says, so if I understand correctly, Whether they teach or not in the program portfolio for the accreditation, all faculty members at the institution should be included, even postdocs who are not related to a program of the portfolio for accreditation. Faculty who teach in non-degree and executive programs, as long as they are in business disciplines. This changes everything. I doubt that anything beyond the scope of accreditation should be taken into account.
No. Just what's in the scope of accreditation. So they are teaching in the programs related to the that they are in the scope of accreditation. If they go somewhere else, if they teach things not related to the faculty of business, you don't list them.
Even if it's a business subject. But if they teach a business subject in a program that's not in the scope, they should not be counted. Yes.
No. Yeah,
Is
that's
that okay,
taken out.
Jean-François?
Yeah.
Okay. We have another question from Lingile, who asks if you can elaborate further on degrees and majors are offered and not offered.
So I think I have an example somewhere. Did I do it? No, I didn't add it here. It's the disciplines, for example, as you are looking here, we have a bachelor degree in accounting. And bachelor degree in accounting is clearly that you are awarded a degree in accounting. But in the accounting program, there could be disciplines in it that are not what the degree is named after. Or the intellectual capital is not going there. Or you have a master's degree in marketing, which part of the program is other disciplines. Or as we saw, there is business law as one of the disciplines taught. You're not awarding a degree in that discipline. You're awarding a degree in the main discipline, and the other disciplines, if you're not awarding any degree in it anywhere of this business school, then this is you don't award a degree or concentration in that, and then you don't need to meet the 40%.
Sorry, Ihsan, just to tap in there. So the way I understand you, for a program like your MBA, which is generic, it means it does not offer a discipline. So we tick that. Correct. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
For that.
Because you're not reporting by program, you are reporting by discipline. Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Yeah.
There's a follow-up question by Jean-François.
Yeah, hello, Ihsan and Mélanie. I'm sorry to repeat myself, but so if I understand correctly, postdocs should be counted even if they have no connection with any of the programs in scope of the accreditation.
So they don't. What are they doing, the postdocs?
Only research.
For the School of Business?
Yeah.
Then they are counted for doing that. There is no teaching, of course, that is blank. But the research that they are doing related to this school, so they have finished their degree. They are awarded PhD, right? They are postdoc.
Exactly. Yeah.
So they are within the school. They are just doing research. They are contributing to the mission in relation to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have a written question by Eva, who asks, part-time faculty only teaching one course, for example, should also be considered as 50%. Should the TDM, what's TDM? Of part-timers, the time devoted to mission, sorry.
Yes, yes.
Time devoted to mission is,
should the time devoted to mission of part-timers should be proportional to a full-time teaching load? That's what I would think.
Yes. So what are they doing if they are only teaching and the teaching is just that part, and that the percentage is related to that part of teaching? If they're not doing anything else, it's only that teaching, then that's what will reflect their time devoted.
So if a normal, let's say a normal teaching load is 200 hours and they only teach 20 hours, then it's 10%.
Yeah.
You agree with that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Stephen has a question.
Yes.
Or three.
Yes. Hi, Ihsan. I'm sorry. I think I have 3 questions, and I hope they're related to the 3.1. As you were going through the presentation, there's some things that flashed up to my mind. One of them, can we go back to, we're on page 14. It's probably not totally related, but I see Robert Smith has 1 peer-reviewed journal contribution and yet is an SA. The reason I'm asking that question is we know that the definitions have to be mission-driven and et cetera, but common wisdom tends to say 1 peer-reviewed journal is not enough. And I'd just like to have that cleared up, because I hear it all the time
Yeah.
And because it's in the example, I mean, what is
Yeah.
the take on the official take on AACSB about SA qualifications?
Perfect. Shall we hear the other two questions?
Yeah, one of them is probably easier. Well, the other both probably. One is a little bit technical, and the other one's a bit easier. You said about the reporting period is over 1 year.
Yeah.
Is that general policy for all standards? Is that something that the school should apply? No, this is specific to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was an easy one. And a slightly more technical one is about the part. I was very interested in your terminology. You talked about intellectual capital.
Yeah.
And this raises in my mind the question about external part-time faculty who are obviously not members of the faculty of the institution involved. Is the definition of intellectual capital that is generated within the scope of the institution, or is it okay if it's from without the organization?
Right. This is interesting. So I'll go first to the example and the good eye, by the way, looking at Robert's contributions. This is just to poke you a little bit, and it's working clearly. There is no rule of how many. There is, and you can read it now in this. It's very clear. We have communicated it. What shows intellectual capital, what shows commitment to quality and relevancy, peer-reviewed journals. You cannot have an SA, scholarly academic, without peer-reviewed journal articles. The number, there is no magic number. We will never say how many. It is relevant to the institution. So this is why the controversy of having one PRJ in this case, maybe institution doesn't have any PhD program. There is no research focus at all. It's teaching and learning, undergraduate programs only. Of course, the definition will be different for a different institution. So that is that part. Intellectual capital, no, it is not only for the institution, because you are bringing faculty from external. They bring their intellectual capital with themselves. So when they join your institution, we're looking collectively at what they're doing in the last 6 years. And that feeds into the intellectual capital for the institution, if you will. And equally, if they leave, the same thing happens. Yeah. So thank you so much. Great questions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Longole?
Ihsan, okay, I'm going to give you an example of our postgraduate diploma. And we have like contact and distance. And then you find that in contact is a different lecturer, and in distance mode is also a different lecturer. So my question here, do we include both lecturers despite the fact that they are teaching one module?
Yes. Both.
So the only difference will be what in allocation compared to a person who's teaching both modes, let's say both modes as one person instead of two people. You split it into half.
They're both contributing to that. You're not merging them, reporting as because you're reporting the individual. You're reporting the individual faculty, and then you break the time. This one is teaching this. This was teaching this.
Okay.
Which leads to a question that arises very often is, I know that a lot of schools tend to not put faculty members who only teach a few hours per year, and sometimes they set the limit to 10 hours, 15 hours. Is there a rule?
No, the rule is have a policy. You need to to decide where do you stop counting. If it is a couple of hours, then it is not worth the time. It's a smaller institution that matters for them to count everybody, because that is the business model that is working. But probably in larger institutions that will just be insignificant, and then you just say, here, this is what we count, and approximate. You don't need to go to the point something. You need to approximate eventually. Just say, if you teach, you are the main lead of that course, then this is. If it's 2 and it is an interpretive guidance, we give it as an example, then divide it into this way. Just have the policy of how you're doing the count, and it's consistent. For the sake of time, I'll just move on, if you don't mind. There's some good slides coming up. So we have some of the frequently asked questions that we provide of how do we represent faculty member who teaches more than one business discipline. I think this is one of the interesting ones. And here you see, and we are very clear, it's in the FAQ officially for AACSB on the website. That's how they are represented in every discipline. So you should divide them between the disciplines that they are teaching. Please keep in mind that they should not exceed 100 when we gather them. And footnote that, if possible, just footnote saying, Mélanie teaches, she's all over the place. She teaches in more than place.
I do so many things.
I know. Then we footnote that. The other question, do we need to include thank you, Deborah, and I hope you enjoyed. The other one is like, do we need to include faculty teachers courses that service the general university population? So more of a generic programs that you have. No, you would not include. The examples course is intended for non-business majors, economic classes, services that I think this came up earlier. You don't need to include those. Can we include faculty members who left during the reporting year? Yes. So they were there, but they left. If they left before, you don't include them before when we are reporting. If they left during the year, you include them and you footprint that. This is also another one, interesting one. Should deans and other significant admin roles be automatically classified as SA and PA? I'm sure you'll say no. No, we don't do that. You develop, again, a policy. If they meet the definition, fine. If they really meet that definition, that is absolutely fine. But also, you take it with a grain of salt. They are taking big responsibility in this. What they're doing, they are leading the organization. Usually you've seen it PA, more often they become because they are running a business, basically. But have a policy for all these roles, what is logical and representative. This is my favorite, the do's and don'ts. So please remember, complete all columns. So we don't have, except if there is no teaching, as we said, you leave that blank. Be clear about the metrics. We cannot read minds. So just say, this is what we used. This is the metric. Is it ECTS? Is it student contact? Just highlight that. That is more than enough. Summarize the blend of faculty and strategic deployment by discipline, location, and modalities. So if you have online teaching, if we have different location, highlight that in the table. So we can have the structure clear for us to know where is who, and so on. We specify when the recommended ratios are not met. So we're highlighting that and add explanation for that, of course. So if we know you are less than the 40% or the 90% or the teaching, highlight that so you're aware, and giving the some of the information out to enhance the faculty. Of course, that is in the language of the standard itself. The appropriate reporting years, so we are very clear. We understand when did you look at this reporting. So not getting a report from 2 years past. We see this often. Institutions overlook. They come for their progress report, for example, and they are staying reporting in the year 2 years prior, while we have to look at a year prior, the last completed academic year. Working with the mentor, peer review team chair, and staff liaison in clarifying all of that. So if you allow time, if you have your table ready before submission, send it to, if you have a visit, PRT visit, send it to the PRT chair, send it to the staff liaison. I mean, after years of training, we can immediately scan and we know if something is not adding up. Run it by the staff liaison. They are a resource for you to help you. So if you work with Marine and Natalia, please share the draft with them before your submission. Also benchmark with peers if you want to look at examples of how it is done and how they are reporting, so through Data Direct and the Exchange. If you want to just show progress, so if you have multiple years progress reports, put that. So just part of it, like in 2022, this is where we were, 2023, this is where we were, and here we are, 2024, the complete table. So feel free to guide the reader about the progress. So a summarized version of the table, not a requirement, it's a best practice. Some of the don'ts, please don't change the template. No need to change the template. It is there for a reason, because then the reader is trained to read it this way. Otherwise, we need to go and figure out what is the template. So just, it's a template available, just use that. Use the same template and populate it, then the reader can easily understand what it is. No need for unnecessary tables, looking at different things differently or redoing the math. Some, they will use a scenario if it's a by program or if it's a by a discipline, or if it is, no need. You're just report by discipline. This is it. Much easier. And not to rename the table. It's table 3.1. Don't make it 9A. It's just 3.1, so I know where to find it also easily, that it is table 3.1. Here, just bear with me to share with you some of the examples, materials that we have now. I'm very happy about it, that we've been doing. This is the third year. This is the third report of the state of accreditation. Phenomenal interactive report, accessible to all, available on the website, showing you what happened the last year in terms of visits, accreditation visits. So as you look here, we look at how many schools that they went through the continuous improvement review. So schools went through CIR, so that's accredited, going through re-accreditation. We looked at the major regions, Americas, Asia Pacific, and EMEA, because this is how we always look at our regions. That many visits, so there were 210 accreditation visits, imagine that. This is how it's divided in terms of number. So we have 135 for logically, we have highest number there, 39 and 36. The outcomes, also you can see it here. How many extend, luckily, is the highest. And we have CIR2, or Continuous Improvement Review 2, and that is meaning the school didn't get re-accredited. We give them a year because they haven't met one or more standard. So we give them a year to address that, and then have a review within a year. It's not public. You don't know the name. You don't know who. No one will know. The school will remain accredited. But this is the what's happening behind the scene. And we have other two scenarios also for institutions, meaning in the CIR2, they haven't met that standard. They still have issues. So they go to focus review 1. And if still didn't happen, they go to focus review 2. And if they don't meet, then they are kicked out, basically, of accreditation. So it's not instant. You don't just, unless big violation of the standard. So this process accommodates up till focus review 2. So these are the outcomes. Unfortunately, we have some of that focus reviews, as you see in the light green highlighted. But the report gives you an idea about the data, what is happening around the world. I like this one. This is my favorite. It shows which are the most cited standards in the reports. So peer review team, they visit your school, initial or re-accreditation. They give recommendations for the next accreditation cycle. And these are the top 3 recommendations. And surprise, surprise, standard 3 is number 1. And that's why we're here. So it's good to have the knowledge about it, to know how to manage the reporting. So as you can see, the common issues, which I also like, we don't just say standard 3. These are the issues: faculty qualifications and sufficiency, faculty deployment and support, staffing capacity for strategic growth. So it's not only faculty, but also professional staff as well. Standard 1 comes second, and then standard 5. And we highlight standard 9. Why it's a high percentage? Because we are communicating that with the schools. It's not that there are errors. We are communicating that to schools to be aware of the importance of standard 9 for the upcoming years. This is the QR code for the report, if you would like to scan it. I'll stay here for a couple of seconds. So take your time. but also it is available, or you just Google State of Accreditation 2024, and it will take you directly there to the report. Listing of volunteers, you'll know who's a volunteer of AACSB, accreditation volunteer, was something we didn't have before. Testimonies, very, very interesting, and best practices. So I encourage you to please review that. I wanted to highlight a couple of the resources available. All of you, I believe, I have met you around, you know about the events. Thank you, Mélanie, for putting the link. But you know where to go in terms of conferences and seminars. But I wanted to just highlight from all of this, the Faculty Standards and Tables seminar. So we have a seminar dedicated to this that goes all tables, not only 3.1, but we have 3.2 as well. We have 8.1, 9.1. So all table 5.1, all tables related to AACSB are discussed during that seminar, and that will be in Malta on November 16. With the conference. We're going to have our EMEA conference, annual conference in Malta, 18th to 20th, and this is on the 16th in person. That is. This is the information about the conference in Malta. I just wanted to show you the picture on such a great day in Amsterdam. And also to highlight that we will be in Dubai for the Middle East and North Africa conference. That will be in January 15 and 16. Please do join. Weather will be amazing. I'll be there. A good incentive. And last but not least, of course, ICAM, which will be in Vienna this year. Always it's in the US. I think you are aware of that. You have attended before, but good opportunity to be in Europe this time. And feel free to reach out if anything you need, staff liaisons or myself. Thank you so much one more time.
Thank you, Ihsan. That was a great webinar. I think it was very clear for everyone, I think. There was a quick question by Sabina asking if there are any guidelines on how often schools should review their faculty classification criteria.
Right.
Because their school was on the old standards.
Sure. Excellent point. And with the change of the accreditation cycle now, we have it 6 years. It was 5 years. We just changed it this year to 6. What we now advise or is expected from schools is to review. So the review timeline itself is 6. It is 6 years. So if you have developing a definition for your faculty, we advise that it's reflecting 6 years. How often review to edit or change and so on, it depends. It depends on the institution. Some, every couple of years, they do evaluate that. It's not too frequent, remember, because faculty are building their career or their direction based on that. You cannot in 2 years change your mind and say, no, now 3 PRJs. And these are the journals we're targeting, or I want you to do so and so. So it needs to allow time for growth. For some journals will take time, takes years to publish and to materialize. So not too frequent, but the review is 6 years. So when you write a definition, if you have your definition already, just look at the breadth and width of it in relation to 6 years. You don't need to change the definition immediately, instantly, but we advise to evaluate that in light of the change of the accreditation cycle and see what needs to be addressed over the time. But you're not expected to change it immediately because of the change of the accreditation cycle, but the expectation from now on is the review over 6 years, matching the accreditation cycle.
Okay, we're running out of time. There are 2 questions. Just let me get back to that one. Just Eric is asking if regarding the 94% of standard 9 being mentioned by the in the commissions, if AACSB is disclosing what percentage of the mentions were done by the PRTs versus by AACSB committee.
Right. Yeah. So it's not there. It's not part of that percentage. This is everything because we referenced all. So it could be some of it are coming from the PRT, but because we have a standard language being communicated last year with every institution going through re-accreditation or initial accreditation related to that, and that's the data mining. It looked at every reference of standard 9. So I don't know how to break down.
And we had one last question from Anka Laura, saying thank you for the presentation, and she would like to know, how do other institutions do to collect the information about their faculty? And once they have the information, for example, their CVs, how do they do to compile the information from the CV and to complete the table? Do they do it one by one? Any tips to share? So there are software, yes, there are software solutions. I know that many schools here have something such as Academ, others have the Accreditator, some have digital measures. There are a few solutions out there, and you put the information basically once and for all, and then you just have to update, because if you do it by hand, you still can do it. It just takes longer. So you might want to look into those solutions and reach out to the providers.
And depends on the size of the school. I mean, if it depends how many faculty you have also, I mean,
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have 12, you can do it by hand, but
if you have 12, won't be accredited. 16.
That's true. Sorry. If you have 15, no. Well, what is the limit? Is it 14?
16.
Oh, 16. Sorry,
16
I was still under it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Great.
Okay. Well, so thank you everyone for attending. Thank you, Ihsan. It was great, and see you next month for a webinar. So this will be in French next time, relating to the notion of disability in higher education and how to take it into account.
Thank you.
See you soon. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.